Hello, everyone. I am Michael Morey. I'm the Senior Product Manager for Residential Controls and specifically over our Comfort Bridge Controls platform and the Cool Cloud Bluetooth application. Today, what we're going to be talking about is our new Comfort Bridge technology platform. A lot of you are familiar with this technology as it's been out a while. I'll give you a few updates in terms of where we're at and where we're going. In order to keep the presentation very simple and easy to run through, like to focus on three main objectives that I want you guys to understand. Number one, why did we make Comfort Bridge technology? Number two, what is it? And number three, how is it going to benefit you and your customer base? So in order to kind of analyze or paint a picture of why we developed Comfort Bridge, I like showing this slide here to analyze a neighboring industry that we're all familiar with, which was the television industry. So as we saw in this industry, there was a rapid increase in technology from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray. And this happened over a pretty short period of time. There's a market disruption, which was Netflix, 2008, which kind of changed the game of that technology flow and made it so that consumers had a better way of doing things. So television industries had to respond to that disruption. They did so by creating the smart television the year after. And what we found out is that some of those major players are actually getting out of the Blu-ray game by stopping manufacturing of Blu-ray. And the only reason that I talk about this is so that we can see those strong parallels in the HVAC space. We started out with the dial thermostat, which was a nice mercury thermostat, went on to become the digital thermostat with the advent of computers in the 1980s. This was a very nice stat, and that evolved into the communicating thermostat. This was the first stat was created by Carrier in 2004, and this was a way to create a thermostat that had a very easy install. So you just needed 4 wires, RC for power and 1 and 2 for communication line. We also saw market disruption in the HVAC space. 2007, when ecobee launched their first smart thermostat. Nest made it a little bit more prevalent in 2011, and those are kind of the two top players in the space today. So you look at what the OEMs did to respond in this market, and really we are the only ones that have done anything. And that's what we have done by launching our Comfort Bridge technology as a response to that market disruption. We are announcing with that launch of Comfort Bridge that we are getting out of our communicating thermostat game to no longer sell them. So if you take a look out at the industry, you'll see some of our competitors' thermostats. They're proprietary thermostats for communicating systems on their premium line of product. And all of these have the same thing in common, which is that they're very expensive. So when you buy a premium product, you have to pay for their premium thermostat, which can cost an arm and a leg. We wanted to create a solution that gave people what they wanted. And if you look out in the industry and you know what people are buying, these are the thermostats that they're buying: the Nest, Honeywell, ecobee, and the Sensi. These are kind of the top selling stats that people have heard about. A lot of these companies do a really good job at getting the word out there through their marketing and their sales with Black Friday deals and all that stuff with word of mouth. And a lot of people are really liking these thermostats. So our competitors, they'll try to sell a premium thermostat and they say, well, you know what, we'll offer a 24-volt version that will sell. And really what happens is that no one ends up buying it because they're competing against these giants in the thermostat space. So we went out and we interviewed several dealers. We interviewed about 60 dealers out in this space. We wanted to understand what it is our dealers wanted in a communicating system, so that we could advance that technology and give them a solution that they wanted. So number one, they wanted a system that could expand simplistically, meaning that as technology evolved and became more prevalent, we could integrate those features very easily without having to do a large amount of training and learning curves for the dealers as that technology was released. Number two, they wanted a system that was flexible across all applications, a plug-and-play system, if you will, that would plug into an AC, a heat pump, a furnace, air handler, whatever it might be. They wanted to have a solution where they could just plug it in and have peace of mind that it would work properly. Last but not least, we touched on it a little bit, is that they wanted a cost-friendly solution. It's always easier to be able to go into somebody's home, sell a premium product, especially if it's at a mid-tier price, and that's what we've been able to see with our Comfort Bridge. So we took that feedback from our dealers, our voice of customer, if you will, and we took that feedback to meet with our engineers and met at the drawing board and developed our Comfort Bridge technology platform. This technology platform replaces our old ComfortNet design. We'll talk about the features, but one of the key features is that we no longer need to be compatible with a communicating thermostat, the CTKO4, which we had on our old ComfortNet design. There's a lot of moving parts here, and we'll get into a few of them into the presentation. And there's a lot of exciting technology that we are looking to advance this platform already. So what are the main attributes of Comfort Bridge technology? So there's really three key product features with Comfort Bridge technology. Number one, you have the ability to choose any thermostat that you want to put on the system. So any thermostat that's 24 volts and that's capable of single stage operation. Number two, there's no longer limitations as we had before in our old ComfortNet design as it relates to accessories. So whether you need ventilators, humidifiers, or dehumidifiers, you really have flexibility to use a wide range of product. And the same is true, you kind of see this pattern with thermostats, accessories, as well as our zoning solution. You now have the ability to use any zoning platform, again, that's capable of 24 volts, and that can be set up as a single stage solution. We'll talk about what those look like. So just talking about the thermostat first, we're showing you here the architecture slide. The fully communicating nature of the system is still intact. So what we have here is we have an indoor system with a 2-wire communication link to the outdoor communicating system. We bid the cost on all our outdoor product to factory install a transformer, and that gave you the ability to have a very clean install, very easy. You don't have to mess with transformer kits anymore, and it'll work with our communicating 2-stage and inverter product. You know, our old architecture, it paired with the CTKO4. This was a really good stat. We sold a lot, and we got a lot of positive feedback. But as the market changed, we had to adapt to that market change, where consumers became a little bit more knowledgeable about thermostats, what the market was looking like, and they started wanting to dictate what thermostat was in their home, whether it be the Nest or the ecobee. So the new architecture allows them to do that. We have a 24-volt bus design. It allows them to get in there, and you can install any low-dollar single-stage stat, whether it be Wi-Fi, non-Wi-Fi. You no longer have to charge $600 to $800, depending on the price points for a communicating thermostat. So I wanted to show this slide just to demonstrate how simple the wiring is with Comfort Bridge technology. One of the main beauties of Comfort Bridge technology is that we're able to take something very complex in nature with a fully variable speed ECM motor, inverter, a 2-stage outdoor technology, error codes, diagnostics, a full control system platform, and we're making the wiring very simple. So looking at this slide, you take any thermostat and you treat the system as you would any other single stage system. So you've got an R, a G, a Y, and a W. That C is dotted, just as you are likely aware, some thermostats don't require it, but in the event that it does, you would wire up that C. So that's what you do from the thermostat to the indoor. And then as I mentioned before on the previous slide, all you need is 2 wires between the indoor and the outdoor. And once you charge that system, you plug it in, you wire in power, it's going to start operating at maximum efficiency and maximum comfort level for the homeowner. All right, so looking on to in terms of accessories, I mentioned before that Comfort Bridge technology is compatible with a wide variety of accessory options. We sell our Clean Comfort product line. We make very good product, and we partner with the top vendors to offer solutions. But we do know that dealers might have a preference, or as homeowners might be becoming a little bit more knowledgeable about these accessories, they might have a preference as well. So we give that full flexibility for you to be able to use any humidifier, dehumidifier, ventilator, and tie it into that 24-volt bus, just as you would any other single-stage system. Some other product development that we're looking for in terms of accessories is creating an accessory board that will be able to tie into the Comfort Bridge system, give a homeowner app so that homeowners can then connect into some of these different systems and be able to command them on and off via a phone app. In this slide I touched on before with the zoning options. We partnered with our old company, EWC, to develop a zoning solution for our ComfortNet design. And with ComfortBridge, we have now opened the door to use any of these systems. You go in, you buy one of these systems, set it up as a single stage system, wire it in just as I showed you in that previous wiring diagram. And the logic inside the ComfortBridge system will be managed by our ComfortBridge system, and the zoning panel will be able to respond and provide that level of comfort that you'll need. So how is it different? I mentioned before that we had to meet with our engineering department, kind of meet at the drawing board and develop ComfortBridge technology. And there were 2 roadblocks that we encountered. So looking at those roadblocks, the first one was understanding how we could take some of the brain from the thermostat in terms of staging and pull it into the ComfortBridge board. And the second was, since we got rid of our communicating thermostat, we also got rid of the user interface that our technicians use to be able to set up the system, view the diagnostic codes and configuration. And so we had to redevelop the interface for the technician. So let's talk about staging first. The first thing that we were able to do was create our advanced staging algorithm. This is the algorithm that ComfortBridge uses to be able to maximize efficiency while maintaining a high level of comfort for the homeowner. As you saw from the wiring diagram, this system knows nothing about the space in terms of temperature or set point. All it knows is that there's either a call for cooling or heating. This example here shows a cooling call. This example, it's the same as you would see in a heating, but just to demonstrate, I'm showing the cooling cycle. And there's a lot more moving parts in this algorithm. This does a really good job at representing what the system is doing. Since it knows nothing about the space on that first cycle, as soon as you turn it on, it'll run at 100% capacity. And it does this so that it can gather information about what the system is and what the load on the house is, and it will run until the call for cooling goes away. It'll sit in idle mode and just wait for another call to appear, and it will run in 100% capacity one more time. On the third cycle, it now has enough information to adjust. And as I mentioned before, it's trying to operate at the lowest efficiency possible to meet the demand that the homeowner is giving. So there's a setting inside the ComfortBridge system called the target time. It defaults to 30 minutes as shown here on this graph. And what the system is trying to do is it's trying to satisfy the demand for cooling as it gets those calls within that time frame. So in this example, it does some calculations and it says, I think at 80% cooling demand, I can get to satisfy that space within 30 minutes. As you see in this example, it may only take 20 minutes, and then it readjusts on that fourth cycle even further. So it ramps down even further. You might have had people leave the house or come in, or the load on the house change. And so it's going to constantly be learning from previous cycles to adjust. I was very skeptical about this algorithm, but in our field trials and our testing and feedback from the customers that we've had to date, this algorithm works very, very well. And as I mentioned before, it's able to optimize efficiency as well as maintain a very high level of comfort for our homeowners. So going into the second aspect was the user interface. Since we were redesigning the board and the algorithm, what we ended up doing was integrating a Bluetooth chip onto that board. As most people are familiar with this via their headphones or their car stereo. Most people have a smartphone, so we wanted to create that interface on the smartphone device by creating the CoolCloud HVAC app. This is available for free on the Google Play and App Store. So you download this app, you pair into the equipment in the indoor side via the Bluetooth chip. If you've got a communicating outdoor system, you plug in those 2-wire ComLink, and now at your fingertips, you have the ability to view the full system settings. You can view the indoor alone as well as the outdoor system settings, diagnostics, all the configuration information that you need right at your fingertips. So just to give you an idea of what those CoolCloud screens look like, we've got this slide here. So you'll see this screen, which is the splash page. You'll come in, and just like in any other app like Facebook or Instagram, you'll log in, you don't have an account, you just set up your credentials. It's a very easy registration process. Once you're all logged in, you'll come to this screen and you'll be able to see all the Comfort Bridge compatible equipment within that Bluetooth range. You'll see the model number, last four of the serial, as well as the signal strength. You click on that, it will walk you through exactly how you need to pair. It's a very simple process. And once you're into that system, you can then view all the information that I mentioned before. Configuration info, device settings, status, any sensor data, if any, and then the fault code history. You also come, at the top here, you'll be able to see the icons if you want to run some testing. You can turn on the fan or the furnace or the electric heater just from your fingertips. You don't have to mess around with any dip switches or push buttons if you don't want to. Here, this last screen, this is the tablet view for fault code history. So especially for newer technicians that are new to the field, new to premium equipment, this is a really nice screen to help walk them through exactly what they need to do. So they give you the error code, what the description of that error code is, what the possible causes are, and what they can do to try and fix it. So it really walks them through just step by step. Here's the problem that you've got, and here's what you need to do to get the issue resolved as quickly as possible. We also have a glossary of terms. If there are certain terms or settings that are unfamiliar to the technicians, you can click on the glossary and start learning about what we mean by those different terms. It's a very simple, easy to use app, very user intuitive. So that's what we did here in Comfort Bridge technology to be able to overcome those barriers in terms of staging logic as well as the user interface. So just to wrap up, the future is very bright for us. Our competition is kind of hitting their head against the wall. All of them to date are still offering a very expensive solution. They go out and they try to sell these solutions and basically try to gouge as much money as they can out of the dealers and then eventually to the homeowners. And we saw this market disruption, as I mentioned before at the beginning, with the smart thermostat, and we wanted to create a premium solution that gave homeowners and dealers flexibility. And that's exactly what we are able to do with our Comfort Bridge technology. It allows you to go out there, sell a product that's a premium product at a mid-tier price, and it gives you a solution that takes something very, very intricate in nature and makes it so simple that the installers will have a very easy time installing it, diagnosing it, and servicing it. And that's what Comfort Bridge technology is. All right, we know you guys are very busy, and we appreciate the time of you guys tuning in to listen to our product videos. That was Comfort Bridge technology, and it is off the wall. Thank you very much.